Hey everybody, I'm Jeremy,
And I'm Spencer,
and we're the Movie Bros.
bringing you honest movie reviews you can trust.
And today we're bringing you a movie review on Antebellum. So Spencer, who directed this? Who's in it?
So this one was directed by Gerad Bush and Christopher Renz. It stars Janelle Monae as the character Elizabeth, who's kind of the antagonist to Janelle Monae, the main character who plays Veronica, the protagonist.
Yeah, so what did you think about the movie?
So this was really interesting. We did a segment that I don't think we ever aired on our top 10 movies this year for a variety of reasons, mainly due to COVID and the reshuffling of movie schedules and whatnot. And this ranked it at number 10. This was one of the ones where I wasn't sure, I didn't know a lot about it, but I liked some of the directors, I liked some of the movies that they had been associated with, and I was interested to see it. It had an interesting plot. I don't know that this is exactly what I had picked out, but I was certainly wanting to see this one. Before we really dive into the meat of it, was this what you were expecting?
Yeah, so for me, this movie was classified as a thriller, a suspense thriller movie, which is one of those movie types that I typically don't watch. Mm-hmm. So it was never made it on my list. I actually watched this movie without having any idea of what the movie was going to be about. So I was really surprised.
Yeah.
In watching it.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a clue from looking it up earlier. The mechanism of the movie, which I guess we won't really speak to, but was just different than I thought. So the main plot device, I thought that this was going to have more of a supernatural element, and that's not what it was. That doesn't mean I was disappointed. It just was. It did catch me a little bit off guard with the twist in this one.
Yeah, I feel like the movie gave more than just a twist. It gave a couple small ones. I think the movie itself, and I like to talk about movies in first, second, and third act. The first act was really hard to watch. There was a lot of violence against humans.
Yes.
That was really hard for me to swallow, to watch, to realize that that's actually part of our history.
Yeah.
And that really was a challenge for me to get through. Once we got through that part and got into the second act, the movie really kind of resonated with me. It kept me intrigued, it kept me interested, it kept me watching. And by the third act, I was really happy with the time that I had spent to watch this movie. So for me, it was a real surprise.
Yeah, I didn't have a ton of expectations about how the movie was going to flow, and it was really interesting because I feel like in the first act, they purposely don't give you a lot of context. So you're kind of left guessing, how. So the movie starts. I guess we'll be able to dive into it. The movie starts in what appears to be
a period piece.
Yeah, a period piece of like Civil War era, a slavery plantation, and it gives you a kind of in-depth look at what life was like on both sides. I thought it did obviously we weren't there, but I thought it did a good job of depicting what life during that time was like for both an African American person and a white plantation owner, in kind of, as Jeremy described, kind of like brutal fashion.
Yeah, I thought the first act was really shot without any real filter. I think sometimes people will tell a story and they'll add a little filter to make it more palatable. I thought it was refreshing and horrifying at the same time to see a movie that was so raw for that first act.
Yeah, and I think that's actually one of the things that, without watching any interviews, that's probably one of the things that the director set out to do, because it is something that as we get further and further away from periods in time, you may learn something in history class, but people become ignorant to what actually occurred in the nature of it. And I think given kind of the general climate of today, with some actions that have transpired between the African American population and the police and various other things in our country, it's good to maybe be reminded of some of those things.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was humbling. Like I said, I thought it was a really honest take on probably what life was like back then, and it was still very hard to watch and to kind of digest that process. But at the end of the movie, I was really happy that I had seen it. I was really surprised.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think we're gonna try to dance around the twist here and not
Correct.
give a big reveal. So we may be a little cryptic in our description. But I mean, what did you think about it? Like, how did you like it? What was your how did it make you feel?
So I like the movie, and it pushed me through a lot of different emotions, like I said early on in my description of the film. But thinking about it from a cinematic standpoint, I really loved the way the movie looked.
Yes.
I thought it looked really good. I thought it was visually stunning. I love the set. I really felt like I was in that period as well with them.
Yes.
With the actors, and I liked the music, the soundtrack. I thought the dialogue there. Sometimes I complain that somebody underacted a role. I felt like this was really I was sold on all the characters, and I really enjoyed the film.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, especially noting on the acting, Janelle Monae, phenomenal. I mean, it's not a movie that you're likely to win an Academy Award for, but she is upped herself in my book in terms of being a incredible actress. The emotion that she's able to depict in the scenes and the range that she has just within this one movie is pretty great. But you're right. They're again trying not to speak to the twist. The acting between the first and second act, and then seeing how it all kind of comes together towards the end of the second act, beginning of the third. It's really interesting because you are in the dark in the first act.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie really catches you by surprise.
Yes, I mean, you...
And then I'm expecting another shoe to drop in the second act, and then you realize what's really happening.
Yeah, it took a while too, because you're watching the second act, and like it gets to this point where you're in modern day, and you kind of wonder when the story's going to get back to the original storyline, and then it does so in a very interesting way.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. I don't know. Do we want to? Because I don't want to give anything about the movie away. I thought the movie was really, I think maybe we should.
I think in an effort to be spoiler free, we could. I'll just say I agree. I think the cinematography was beautiful. The soundtrack was subtle. It wasn't something that it's not like I'm gonna go look up music from the movie, but I think it played well. It just kind of in the background. I liked most of the acting. I will say that out of the second act, there were some parts that seemed almost unnecessary. I think it's to give context of the main character and kind of like give more of a depth to their character and give some of the background so that when the third act comes, it's almost even more horrifying in a way.
Satisfying too, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, it's her version of the triumph that she kind of has is more satisfying, but almost more horrifying because, it's one thing when you're in the first act thinking about what's happening and getting this historical perspective, and then to see a person, kind of an everyday person, could be you or I, living their life, and then to see how things play out in the third act, it does make things that much more terrifying because it could. It could be you or I.
There are some good lessons in this movie. I would tell you that for sure.
Yeah, I think this movie is very rich with great metaphors, great getting you to relate to other people and whatnot. But anyway, we can just get to grading. We'll leave it spoiler free.
So I'll let you hit this one up first. What did you think? How would you score this one?
I thought the acting was great. I will say that the second act dragged just a smidge for me. But overall, I thought it was a pretty cool movie. I liked the way that the story was told. And I overall just enjoyed the movie. So I'm going to give this one 7.5.
So I like this movie as well. I think that the movie pushed me through a range of emotion through it, which I think is really great. When a movie can touch you in lots of different ways. It can make you sad, angry, emotional, happy, feel triumphant.
Yeah.
Like this one maybe at the end. And at the end of the day, I thought the movie was cinematically, it was beautiful. It was shot really well. I liked the acting. I can agree, and I can see your point about the second act. but I don't think that's going to affect my score too much.
No.
I'm going to give this one an 8, and I think Spencer and I would both say this is a movie you should see. It was a release, I think a simultaneous release, theaters and at home.
Yeah, I think there's maybe like a limited theater release. Because obviously, like many other movies in 2020, it was scheduled for a theatrical release. This one went direct to Amazon Prime Video. I think a few other platforms as well. But definitely worth the $20 investment.
Oh, okay, you saw it. Okay, I saw it on Apple TV. I was like, I
There we
paid
go.
$20
There we go.
to see it.
I don't know. I think I have $20 as well. Don't worry.
Yeah, so I think it was worth $20. Me and my wife watched the movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think you guys should see it. Make sure when you guys have a chance, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Spence, what else you got for them?
Yeah, and please, we love to hear your comments. So please comment below. Tell us what you thought about the movie. Tell us how it kind of affected you emotionally. I think there's so much to unpack here.
Yeah.
We're not really going to talk. We didn't really talk about the twist, but if you want to talk about it in the comments, that's a great place to do it. So we love to hear your opinion as well.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys check back next week for our next video review. See you guys on the next one.
Movie Bros out.
See ya.